that we've seen you bear it all in a whole succession of roles. I made myself a note. You've appeared in your underwear, if not less, in Malcolm in the Middle, Trumbo, Wakefield, Breaking Bad. Now, what's with it, Bryan? Is this an exhibitionist act, or are you just able to subdue your vanity for a role?
Well, when you look at it on the surface, no pun intended, of it, there is nothing more vulnerable than a person who is naked, figuratively or literally. And aside from those years that we spent in middle school or high school, when someone was publicly humiliated or embarrassed in public, and the finger pointing and the laughing and the giggling occurred, what I appreciated about the maturity of human beings is that once they are mature, they're in college or later, we don't laugh. When we see someone who's hurting, someone who's vulnerable or in pain, susceptible, publicly humiliated, we emotionally want to wrap our arms around them and protect them. And that's the joyous part of a human experience, and I count on that. I count on audiences going, oh my God, I feel for him in his pain right now, in his suffering. And I've been there. They relate to it, and they don't want to see it. And so they can cry with you or feel the depression or anxiety with you. And then hopefully the playwright and structure of the story lifts them up a little bit with you, so you pull them out of that together, and then you continue on with your story.
Very well spoken. Well, that old saying that luck is where opportunity meets experience. Tell me about how Breaking Bad came into your life.
It was just that. I was very lucky. I wrote and directed a little movie, independent movie, out in the desert of California. And I kept delaying it because money kept coming in, coming out, coming in. Just a couple $100,000 on 35 millimeter film. We were hustling, trying to get this done. It was a labor of love. It was fun. It's called Last Chance. It starred my wife, and we worked together. It was beautiful. But I delayed it so many times, and I finally just said, I can't delay it anymore. I've got to do this. I came back into Los Angeles after that and started editing. And 2 days after I was in LA again, I got a call from my agent saying, there's a part on X-Files that you might be right for. Do you want to work? Oh, yeah, I could use the opportunity to work. I'm broke. So I went and auditioned. I got it. That episode of X-Files was written by Vince Gilligan. He wrote a character that was despicable and ornery and an anti-Semite and just a nasty human being who was in trouble. And he wrote it where, despite his actions, you still felt sympathies toward him. And that was my first introduction to the depth of Vince Gilligan's writing. 10 years later, after Malcolm in the Middle, Vince Gilligan contacted my agent and said, I'd like to see Bryan for this new series called Breaking Bad. And I didn't remember him. I remember, oh yeah, I remember the writer. I don't remember what he looks like or what his name was. And I read this script and I went, oh my. But he was my champion to get that role because of the fact that I was lucky enough to be in that episode of X-Files that he wrote and produced.
But he remembered it for 10 years.
He remembered me. He remembered me. I didn't remember him. And he was my champion. Without Vince Gilligan, someone else is sitting in this chair right now talking to you.
Now, true or untrue, that Breaking Bad has meant so much to you that you have a tattoo of it somewhere on your body?
Well, that is true. But Dan, I can't show you where it is. It's a little embarrassing. No, I can't show you.
Come on, I was going to say.
It's right here on my finger. I don't know if you want to see it. I got that. I don't have any other tattoos. I got this on the very last day of shooting Breaking Bad, and that is our symbol, BRBA, from the table of
Now,
elements.
as a person who's never been tattooed before, tell me about that.
So we're working on the very last day of production of Breaking Bad. There are tears, there's laughter, there's embracing. We know this was the end of something very special. And a lot of the crew were talking about, I'm going to get a tattoo, I'm going to get a tattoo, crew guys are going to get tattoos. So much so that I said, we should hire a tattoo artist to come to our party tonight. Let's do it there. And then I kept thinking about it. I went, could I get a tattoo? That's so different. It's not my generation, you know? And I thought, why not? Where would I get a tattoo? And so I just thought, you can't see it because I'm an actor.
I didn't see it before you showed it to me.
Yeah, so I didn't want it to be seen. And other people will say, but you did, people can't see that. And I go, it's not for other people. This is for me. And when I catch it, I look at it and I go, wow, that was a seminal period in my life.
More of my interview with Bryan Cranston when we come back.
What I'd like to do is go down this list of roles, and you tell me what was the most difficult thing about doing the character. Let's start with Hal in Malcolm in the Middle.
Well, I smile. I love playing him. Hal was afraid of everything. I wanted to be able to find the truth in fear with him, that he could be afraid of every little thing that could happen to a person. A bad husband, a bad father, lose his job, lose his identity, so be alone, all these things, afraid of spiders, afraid of heights, he was afraid of everything. And so to try to find truth and honesty on that level, and once I found that, I feel then the truth in the humor can then come out to that.
True. Difficult role when you played Dalton Trumbo in Trumbo.
I so enjoyed playing him. He was a man of the times, a man seeking justice during the McCarthy era, and in the story was really who he was, is a man saying, don't be afraid of ideas. That's not the thing to fear. That's the thing to embrace, ideas, and especially the ones that differ from yours. You may be a communist, you may be a radical, you may be an ultra-conservative, you may be whatever, but it is not to fear that. It is to embrace the strengths of that, and ultimately that is what I see as the gift of America and our strength